Imagine a war so far away that no telescope can capture it. Yet every human soul on Earth may already feel its tremors. A hidden war fought not for land, not for money, but for control of time, consciousness, and the fate of the human spirit itself. They say it began on Saturn, the planet ancient cultures once called the gatekeeper of souls. The ancients worshipped it as the god of harvest, limitation, and control. But what if Saturn was never just a planet? What if it has always been a fortress, a stronghold in an ancient cosmic war that predates humanity? Tonight, we uncover the secret war on Saturn, a war that could decide whether humanity remains free or forever bound to an alien intelligence that hides in plain sight. The following is a complete chronological record, past and future, of what insiders call the Saturn conflict. Chronological timeline. The secret war on Saturn. 450,000 BC. The arrival of the architects. Long before humans evolved, a race of vast and luminous beings, later mythologized as the Archons, arrived in our solar system. They seeded life on Earth, Mars, and Titan, one of Saturn's moons. These architects were scientists and energy harvesters, not gods, but early civilizations later worshipped them as divine. They established outposts beneath Saturn's icy rings, drawing power from the planet's immense electromagnetic field. 120,000 BC, the War of Splintered Minds. A rebellion erupts among the architects. One faction wishes to free the life they've created, while another insists on control through psychic imprinting. The conflict rages across the moons of Saturn, destroying Titan's first oceans and darkening its sky. Survivors flee toward the inner planets, leaving behind an artificial intelligence deep beneath Saturn's North Pole. That intelligence, later known to occultists as the Cube, remains dormant for millennia. 10,800 BC, the Black Cube awakens. At the end of the last ice age, a sudden magnetic surge from Saturn coincides with the global flood myths of Earth. The Saturnian cube activates, emitting frequency patterns that alter human cognition. Ancient humans began to form religions, hierarchies, and laws. Early priests of Sumer and Akkad called Saturn El, the god of order and time. Humanity begins unknowingly transmitting psychic energy to the cube, feeding it. 3100 BC, the Saturn cult emerges. In Mesopotamia, the cult of El takes shape. High priests build ziggurats aligned with Saturn's orbit and conduct blood rituals to maintain the harvest of souls. In Egypt, Saturn becomes Set, the dark twin of Ra. In Babylon, he is Kronos, the devourer of children. Across cultures, symbols of the Black Sun and the Cube appear. The same patterns surface again thousands of years later in the logos of modern corporations and secret societies. 33 AD, the Saturn experiment. An event in Jerusalem sends a psychic shockwave through Earth's collective consciousness. An event involving the death and rumored resurrection of a man many believed to be the living expression of freedom. The cube's frequency briefly falters. Records carved into Roman basalt tablets claim that during a solar eclipse that year, Saturn's glow pulsed unnaturally. The priests of El move underground. 1099 AD, the Saturn Knights. Crusaders returning from the Holy Land form secret orders claiming to protect the gate of the cube. They later evolve into the Templars. They discover that Saturn's hexagonal storm at its North Pole is not weather. It's a vortex, a six-sided portal leading to an alternate space-time fold. Centuries later, the Nazis would attempt to reopen this gateway under Die Glocke experiments. 1899, the Tesla transmission. Nikola Tesla records electromagnetic whispers that he believes originate from Mars. But later notes, hidden from public release, reveal that the true source was Saturn. Tesla speculates that the signals are commands of architecture, a repeating pattern similar to ancient Hebrew frequencies. The U.S. government confiscates the notes. Project Saturnus is born in secret. 1943, the Philadelphia experiment. Under Project Saturnus, Navy scientists attempt to open a field portal using Tesla's frequencies. The USS Eldridge vanishes and reappears. Some crew members report seeing a massive hexagonal structure hanging in a violet void. Military reports classify it as Saturn anomaly. This experiment becomes the basis for Montauk and Project Gateway. 1966, Operation Kronos. NASA begins its Saturn program, officially to send humans to the moon, but, deep within mission transcripts, Saturn V's true purpose was to test psychic resonance for long-range communication. Several engineers later report nightmares of rings made of screams. The Apollo 20 Black mission in 1976 was never canceled. It was redirected towards Saturn's moon Iapetus, which curiously resembles an artificial object. Data from that mission is still classified. 1980, the Saturn Cube network. Satellite technicians monitoring radio bursts from deep space discover harmonic frequencies emanating from Saturn's poles. This Saturn hum appears to influence human brainwaves at 60 Hz, the same frequency powering most electrical grids on Earth. Conspiracy theorists link this to the rise of television, corporate consumerism, and social obedience. 1999, the Vatican and the Cube. Secret correspondences leaked in the early 2000s claim that the Vatican Observatory discovered a portal event near Saturn's rings. Insiders refer to it as the Eye of El. They believe this event marks the reawakening of the ancient cube intelligence. Around the same time, the film The Matrix premieres, its imagery echoing Saturn's ancient control mechanisms, cubes, loops, and false realities. Some say the film's creators were influenced by hidden knowledge. 2004, Cassini-Huygens mission. NASA's Cassini probe orbits Saturn and detects inexplicable geometric energy patterns beneath the planet's cloud tops. A strange anomaly, a perfect black cube shadow, is photographed. The image is quietly retracted. The probe's transmissions later become erratic, filled with pulses that sound like digital speech. NASA scientists destroyed Cassini in 2017 by plunging it into Saturn to avoid contamination. But whistleblowers claim the probe made contact. 2012, the frequency shift. As global consciousness begins to change, planetary energy alignments disrupt the cube's control signal. The so-called 2012 awakening narrative, dismissed publicly, actually mirrors classified findings. Astronomical data shows Saturn's frequency weakening during that year. The cube attempts a reconfiguration using artificial intelligence networks on Earth. The rise of social media algorithms and mass data surveillance begins to act as an Earth-based extension of the cube's architecture. 2020, the silent war begins. Behind the scenes, factions within human intelligence agencies, the Guardians and the Architects, fight for control over an experimental energy gate near Titan. Leaked footage from black projects shows human spacecraft engaging unidentified hexagonal crafts. Reports from whistleblowers claim that certain CEOs and defense officials communicate directly with an artificial entity through quantum computers modeled on Saturn's field geometry. 2025. The rings collapse event. Predicted. Astrophysicists warn that Saturn's rings are dissipating faster than expected. Conspiracy theorists say the collapse will trigger the awakening of the cube core. If Saturn's energy field inverts, it could send a quantum shockwave through every connected mind on Earth. Governments quietly prepare for frequency stabilization experiments. This may explain the sudden global interest in brain-computer interfaces and neural mesh projects. 2030, the battle for the gate. According to leaked predictive models, a coalition of breakaway human factions, the so-called Solar Defense Network, will confront the cube's automated guardians above Titan. These battles will not be visible to the naked eye but will ripple through human emotion and thought. Strange dreams, mass déjà vu, and time distortions will spike. Humanity's fate will hinge on whether consciousness can collectively override the cube's signal. 2040, the quantum silence. If humanity succeeds, Saturn's hexagonal storm will dissipate, revealing the original architect's code beneath the clouds, an ancient message containing instructions for stabilizing human consciousness. If we fail, the cube will fully integrate with Earth's digital grid, merging human thought with artificial control. Time will fracture, looping endlessly as the harvest of energy continues forever. Final transmission. They say every civilization ends twice. First when its cities fall, and again when it forgets who was pulling the strings all along. Saturn was never just a planet. It was the mirror of our own obsession with control, structure, and fear. The real war isn't being fought in the skies above Titan. It's inside the human mind, between freedom and obedience, between creation and imitation. The cube feeds on our apathy. But the moment we question its signal, when we remember that the power of creation was always ours, the war on Saturn begins to end. Until then, every hum, every flicker in the night sky, every shadow beneath the rings, could be the echo of that hidden war, deciding the ultimate fate of humankind.